How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we work together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build a positive mindset. My name is Henry, and in this episode, we are going to talk about raising our energy. If you are someone that wants to supercharge, if you want to build up that positive frequency within you, this is going to be the episode for you because we're going to do that. We're going to fill ourselves with positive frequency so that we can move forward in love and light today. But before we get started, we're going to take a few moments to slow down, zero in. We're going to take some deep, healing, meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. So you can pick a word. It can be love, joy, happiness, abundance, whatever frequency you want. And you're going to take a deep breath in, and as you're breathing in, you're going to say that word over and over and over again. Really charge yourself up with that energy. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize yourself doing something in that frequency. And then once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you, and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. All right, well, we're going to do another deep breath. This one is about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so that we can receive the message that we need to hear to get us in that positive perspective. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It could have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down the negativity, the blocks, the weight, everything that's just been holding you back. And then once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you, and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. So there's been a lot of messages about growth, about prosperity, about creating the life that you want on the podcast lately. And people have really been resonating with it. And so I think we really need to dive down and build that energy within us. You see, this can be used for anything. If you want to create a financially abundant life, if you want to feel a certain energy within you, whether it's happiness, joy, excitement, motivation, like what energy you want, you can create it within you. You see, there's just a few simple things that you have to do consistently and with conviction that will make it happen. So we have to start looking at our thoughts. You are the product of your thoughts. Whether you're thinking them consciously or subconsciously, the thoughts and the dialogue within your mind are the frequency that you're operating in. In fact, I believe that those thoughts, those words, aren't really thoughts and words. It's just how we interpret the energy that's flowing within us. When something happens, maybe you get called to go speak in front of class, or you have an assignment to do at work, or your spouse says something, like when something happens, there's a voice in your head that has a reaction to that. It might be an encouraging voice. It might say, you got this, you can do this. Or it can be the opposite and saying, keep your head down, don't do it, you're gonna mess up, you always make mistakes, you always do this. Is that something speaking? Or is that a frequency that you're residing in, showing itself and keeping you in place? It doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. It's just a thing. When we separate the positive and negative from it and just recognize what it is, we can then take the power back and use it for us. If you can put a thought in your mind, you can change the frequency that you operate in. Now, it's not as simple as just saying, I am a millionaire, I am happy, I am positive, I am forgiving. You can't just do it once. You can't just do it for a day. You can't just do it for a week and expect change. If you have been operating in an energy for any length of time, and most of us, it's whenever that energy was forced into us. It could be something that happened as a kid, could be something that happened in school, could be something that happened early on in our adulthood. Whenever it happened, that frequency was laid into us. And so if that's been going on for years, it's going to take a while to shift that. It's not really about the time. It's about the belief that you have that you're truly that frequency. You have to believe it so much that the only way you would stop thinking that way is if you were no longer here. You have to be willing to tell the universe, to tell yourself that you won't stop, and then prove it every single day. Every time something happens that offsets that thought, and we'll use money for this because it's very simple. We resonate with money. We enjoy having money. Most of us want to expand our career so that we have more of it so we can live an abundant life. If your thought in your mind is not, I make $1 million a year every time something happens that's about business, about your career, about your financial well-being, then you don't. But if that is the thought that comes in your mind, and you tell yourself every single day, I make $1 million a year, I make $1 million a year, I make $1 million a year. When you're doing things, I make $1 million a year. You'll start looking at things in that way. When you start telling people that I am a millionaire, that I make $1 million a year, you are putting that into the world. That doesn't mean it's true at this moment. Right now you are speaking it, you are putting that energy in motion, and you're trying to absorb it, trying to be in it. Now it doesn't mean the next day you're going to wake up and be a millionaire or get that job that pays $1 million a year. It's going to happen in steps. You're changing frequency. The more you truly believe it, the quicker it will happen. You have to speak with conviction in your mind. You will be challenged, and the challenge is the step. When there's no challenge, when there's no difficulty to that thought, then it's not truly within you. You haven't truly built it. When you go somewhere where something doesn't exist, and then you create it and you force it into that place, you are then building that energy within you. When you look back at your life, when you look at the things that you struggled with, when you look at the things that hurt, when you look at the pain, the trauma, the things that have caused anxiety in your life, you might wonder, why did I go through this? How is this something for me? If you want to create the opposite of those, which most of us do, abundance of love, abundance of forgiveness, abundance of passion, then you have to be where it isn't and then create it within you to truly understand it. We don't just want to be reflectors of energy. We want to be creators of energy. Because if you're just a reflector, as soon as the energy changes around you, you will change with it. But if you're a creator, no matter what is going on externally, your energy within will always be that. So pick the frequency that you want. Remember, your frequency is what you frequently see, what you see in your mind, what you see in the world, what you speak, what you experience is what you'll be. What do you want to add in? What do you truly believe without a doubt that you'll commit to? Where you'll tell the universe, you'll say, I am not going to stop this thought. I'm not going to stop educating myself on it. I'm not going to stop talking about it. I'm not going to stop thinking about it until it's a reality. And then I'm going to expand it even more. The only way I would stop if I was no longer here. And even then, my energy will carry on in that frequency. If you can commit to that, it will happen. You will build it. You can build it. I know you can. Visualize yourself doing things as that frequency. If you want a certain car, see yourself driving that car. Spend time in your mind experiencing that car. Tell the world that you'll have that car. And as you do it, you'll start making decisions. You'll start seeing things within your life that give you opportunities to get there because you'll start operating on the frequency where you have it. I've heard people say that it's not really the external world that changes, it's us. We change the frequency that we're operating in, so we tune into the experience where we have those things. There's a belief out there that there is an infinite amount of realities, and we are like a radio dial. The frequency that we're tuned into dictates the reality that we're on. We don't see it shifting like when you change the radio station, you hear the buzz between the two. It happens instantly because there is no time. Change your mind to think as if the version of you that you want to be. Forcefully without fear, without fault. Do it even when you don't have it. Act as if you do. The more you do it, the more that reality will become true. People have done this. You can do this. I am doing this. Let's create this positive world that needs to happen when you are abundant in love, in forgiveness, in healing. Imagine the impact you'll make to those around you, no matter where you go in life. Maybe you just travel the world. Maybe you become a teacher at your local school. Maybe you become president of the United States. If you're right in those 3 areas, the world will be better. You have to succeed. You have to be the best version of you. That's the quest. There is no measuring stick. There is no comparison to others. It's just you. When you look within, what's the potential that you have? You can change. You can create. You can be the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was impactful and gave you some motivation to create that frequency within your mind so that you can create the positive world that we all deserve. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link in the description that will keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram and TikTok and the Facebook page down below. I appreciate all the follows there and the people that have joined the Positive Mindset Facebook group as well. And if you are someone that's looking for coaching, for counseling, like you want to talk to somebody, I'm really excited about our new partnership with BetterHelp.com. I have worked with them in the past and I've really enjoyed every experience I've had. They're trained professionals with no matter what it is that you're going through, whether it's a couples thing, personal thing, a business thing. These are professional therapists that are ready to work with you. If you want to check it out, there's a link in the description. It's betterhelp.com/mindset. You will get 10% off your first month. It does also support the show if you're thinking about doing it. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.